Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of our Community Access. We have another busy program just for you. First, we visit with the Oxford School Food Program. Then we went to the Funky Monkey Toy Store. Then we visit with the CrossRoads for Youth. Then we checked on the Addison Library. Then finally, we checked on the Oxford Garden Club. All today on our Community Access. Welcome back. For our first story, our reporter Alexis Ware visited with the Oxford School Food Program. Alexis?
Schools closed on Friday, and we were ready to go on Monday morning, and we fed probably 1,200 families.
Karen Bissett, former Director of Nutrition Services at Oxford High School, says they picked up exactly where they left off after school closed because of the pandemic. She says they were able to use what they had around to package the food.
We continued that, so we've spent a lot of long hours that weekend and a lot of packing because we used things that we already had because we weren't prepared. You know, we had no idea school was going to close that fast, and we needed to take care of our families, so we made it work. So we started out, we run it in 3 different locations when we first started out because we separated it so that we didn't have overcrowding and so we could keep our social distancing. So we did it those 3, and we were running it like 3 days a week. We would hand out food, and so then as each week we tweaked it because we would learn what was working, what wasn't working. So then we took it down to 2 locations, and so then now our numbers are down about 650 each week. So we're running only out of 1 site here at the high school just because it's our largest site and it's easier for our storage and for cooler and freezer space. Because now 2 weeks ago we started with farmers to families, so that's the fresh produce products. So each family is getting 2 large boxes of fresh produce, and they've been getting a dairy box.
The group of volunteers and staff members have been working to keep meals for Oxford students and their families during the shutdown.
Just do it 1 day a week, and we pack 7 breakfast and 7 lunches. And so we do about 8,000-9,000 meals in 1 day we put out. So our staff is amazing. We could not do this without the staff or our volunteers. We were like, the first 3 weeks, it was just craziness of how many hours and what it was taken to put it. So we shut down over spring break, and we regrouped and we organized with our local churches. And you know, we've always said Oxford's a small hometown community, and it takes a community to run this program. It's more than just one program. So we partnered with the churches, and they have helped us volunteer. Our transportation department has come in, so they volunteer. We pack all the meals on Mondays, and then we have volunteers that come in and help distribute meals on Wednesdays. So we have volunteers like for a day and a half.
But the program can't last forever.
We have a waiver. USDA has given us a waiver through June 30th to run this program. Then July 1 we would switch over to our summer feeding program, but we also have the ability in that summer feeding program to continue to do it this way, but we would need to do it at a building that is our 50% free and reduced rate by applications or by our census. So if we run that program, it'll be at Lakeville Elementary. But if we can get a waiver that says that we can serve it anywhere, we will stay here in the high school.
Which is different from the setup they have now. They tell me everything runs smoothly with pickup at the high school.
Just like Karen said, I would ideally like to keep doing it here, just like we're doing it, because it seems to be working. But if we don't get the waivers from that we need, we will move over to Lakeville. But they don't have the storage we have here, and so we would have to go to a 2-day-a-week delivery. Or pickup.
They say the current program they have can continue through August 30th, but the produce only went until the end of June. They say they have enough food for the summer and are now looking into next year.
It will really depend on how school comes back, but we have a couple different scenarios anticipating that we won't come back normally. We are one of the first ones in Michigan to have online ordering, and so the students, if they're not allowed to come to the cafeteria, we will have them order online and be able to take the meals to their classrooms for elementary, and then for middle school and high school, they would come to the cafeteria and pick them up and take them to their classroom after they had ordered them online.
So Lori says she's excited to begin her new position even with the new uncertainties.
I'm very excited. I have worked toward this position for a long time. I'm grateful that I was awarded it. I'm excited to get started, a little bit nervous. Karen is one of she is the most respected director in Michigan, and so to follow behind her is scary anyway, but in the middle of this makes it even worse. But I am excited and looking forward to it.
From food to toys, Alexis visits with the Funky Monkey store. Again, it's Alexis.
Funky Monkey Toys is bringing a little bit of normalcy to the community, even though M24 construction is going, by keeping their doors open and their signs out.
Well, the pandemic, it was something you never planned for, but we did adjust and we did things a little bit differently. We did curbside delivery, we did home deliveries, and as always, the community, local community, really supported us through it.
Jones says the store received many phone calls from residents during the shutdown, curious if they were still doing business.
We did a lot of what we called concierge shopping, where we would actually take pictures of items. You would give us an age range, a gender of the child, and then we would take pictures of ideas we thought that might work. So this went over Facebook Messenger back and forth, and the customers finally would say, we like this or that, and they make a selection, and then again, either curbside pickup or home delivery.
But for their other location, it was a different story.
Well, the Great Lakes Crossing store was completely closed. I believe they closed March 19th for about 2.5 months. So that allowed us to focus here in Oxford, and we really enjoyed that part.
Did you lose out on any revenue from that?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, when the mall was closed, there was no curbside delivery there was no home delivery. So again, we focused here and made the best of it. And Oxford kept us busy.
Overall, Jones says the store is trying to get back into the swing of things across the board.
We're trying to get back to normal, and some of the other restaurants, stores I've shopped, they're trying to do the same thing. Masks are recommended here, but totally optional. And so if you want to wear one, you can. If you don't, that's fine too. We just look to the future. Business was, I'm sure it was down some, but I'm always looking ahead, and what happened yesterday, I can't change that. So we look ahead, and business, I think, is going to be much better once the construction's done and then people start coming back.
Jones says construction shouldn't hinder business too much.
You can enter our store 2 different locations. If you go down Burdick Street, there's over 70 parking spots behind the building. So park there and then come in the Burdick entrance. Also, they've added 2 15-minute parking spots, so it's always an open spot there for people to come in. And as far as the construction out here, we're looking forward to the finished product. The sidewalks are going to be redone. It's going to be traffic calming. The streets will be safer. It'd be more quiet. Better to walk around downtown Oxford, and that's the main goal.
He says even though the sidewalks will be wider once construction is finished, it shouldn't take front parking down by much.
They're keeping most parking spots on this road. They are taking a few for that traffic calming. They're going to put park benches, some trees, beautify downtown Oxford. And so that will take 1 or 2 spots, but most parking spots will still exist.
Jones says now the store is running back at its normal hours.
They're definitely back to normal. We're here 7 days a week. Yeah, Monday through Friday, 10 to 7, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4.
Toys and other items are still selling very well.
Now the outdoor games are selling really well. We have the frisbees, we have golfing games, a new kind of jart, a jart that doesn't hurt you like it did back in the 70s and 60s. So there's just a whole bunch of different things that we have. Water sprinklers, a unicorn that sprinkles water and the kids jump through it. So those games are doing very well. Definitely an increase in adult puzzles. People looking for things to do. They were looking for usually 1,000 pieces, so we got a selection of those in as well. We have a whole selection of Michigan-themed adult puzzles, and they've been doing well. But back to the kids, yes, we have puzzles ages 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, and the homeschooling, there's a whole book room here at Funky Monkey, and where people come in and get books for continue their reading. There's also great things to do with learning to print, learning to cursive. If they want to do that, we have those tools as well.
Jones says their selections are always evolving.
The newest product, we have Shishibo, which is extremely popular. That's for more of the teenage college kids. It's a cube that does 70 different designs, and it's doing really well. And we're constantly getting new products in. If you look around back over that way, you'll see things on the round table, on the wall, crazy errands. Thinking Putty has done well for us for years. And speaking of years, in August we'll be 10 years old here at Funky Monkey. So we're very proud that we've been here 10 years.
He says he's looking forward to finding the new normal.
It's great to be open again and have people back in the store. We missed you.
Owners say business hours are back to normal after the pandemic, and construction isn't toying with business. Reporting in Oxford, Alexis Ware, Oxford Community Television.
Next up, Alexis visits with the CrossRoads for Youth. Again, it's Alexis.
It really hasn't affected us. I mean, other than detour, other than, just having to take a different route for people to come into work, it really hasn't had much impact on us.
Chris Vell, Clinical Director at CrossRoads for Youth, says M24 construction is the least of their worries. The construction that is affecting them is the detour along M24 before Drainer Road.
That is for, I believe, a brand new subdivision project that is going in on property directly adjacent to our South Campus. Yeah, that started about a year ago, and so they're now, they're actively in the process of getting their roads put in. They just finished the water pipes going in, so that's what you're referring to.
And is that going to affect you guys at all? I mean, being so close?
That's a great question. That's a great question. We are currently in the process of trying to sell the South Campus land. That is for sale. We have CrossRoads for Youth. We have 320 beautiful acres here. The North Campus is approximately 158 of those acres, and we really see all of our operations being on the North Campus going forward. We really don't need the largest, the size of the footprint that we have right now. We just don't really need that. We're a very different agency than we were 10 years ago, and a very different agency than we were 25 years ago, when we would have 125 youth on this campus, and so we simply don't need that anymore. So my sense is that eventually that will sell, and that will probably also be a subdivision of really nice homes over there on the south side of Drainer Road.
And that's not the only thing being built around CrossRoads.
We are very excited because we believe by about August 1st, we should be moving our girls into the brand new Mattis House building that we're in the process of remodeling right now. And that project, that was one of the projects that was seriously and directly affected by this pandemic, because obviously there was about a 6-week period of time there was no construction allowed whatsoever. And our original hope was to have the girls in that building by June 1. So obviously now we're looking at August 1 would be fantastic.
And construction has already started for the new house.
We have our administration building, which is currently over there, and also Summit House, which is our house for our neglect and abuse girls. And we are very excited because we believe by about August 1st, we should be moving our girls into the brand new Mattis House building that we're in the process of remodeling right now.
Vell says the community has been helpful with donations.
They have been absolutely fantastic. I want to put a shout out to the Oxford Orion area chambers. There's been many, there's been Facebook groups. Oxford Mothers, I think, is a group, and we've had a few donation campaigns that we've launched during this time. We've did a bottle and can drive, which has been met with just unbelievable response. We've had just hundreds of bottles and cans that were dropped off for us. We've stashed them away and we'll return them. I believe that's actually pretty soon when they're going to actually return bottles and cans again.
Wow, actually,
yeah, I think so. And we had a Facebook fundraiser drive for a new swing set that we're going to put for our new building that we're remodeling for our young ladies to move into. That raised $2,000 in less than a week. And then just having donations of art supplies and books and board games and anything that people think that our kids could use, we have just been overwhelmed with. So from that perspective, I want to say a huge shout out to the people out there and say thank you so much. It's very heartfelt and we appreciate everything and continue it. We would love that. We have some other campaigns coming up that we're going to be announcing very, very soon. So I hope that they're received with the same type of enthusiasm.
Bell says CrossRoads for Youth hasn't been affected by all of the changes so far, and they're looking forward to what's to come. Reporting in Oxford, Alexis Ware, Oxford Community Television.
Good job, Alexis. Next up, our reporter River Tuck. Visit with the Addison Library. River?
Hello Oxford, my name is River Tuck and we are outside of the Addison Township Public Library. In just a few moments I will be replaced with Miss Jamie Berman, the director of the Addison Township Public Library, to talk about how the library has been adapting and innovating with COVID-19 as well as M24 construction.
That's a really good question, River. You know, libraries historically are very evolving, constantly evolving, adapting agencies, institutions, and it has allowed us to develop our online programming this summer. Normally in the summer we're all geared up to have entertainers and presenters and we invite the whole community here for an enormous party. You know, we have 50 to 100 people coming to educational and entertaining events. This has just evaporated within the last few weeks. Just as we're gearing up for this whole exciting season, we've had to put everything into virtual format, including the magic show that we had last night. We had Cameron Zavara, who's an extraordinary entertainer, do magic on a virtual Zoom feed for the community, and it was really great. And August 10th, we're going to have a Alex Thomas and Friends puppet show. So we are continuing to develop our summer program, but we have several online events this summer scheduled already, including fairy gardens, creative catapults, and a lot of other events as well. We do have 3 exciting book clubs this summer for everybody to participate, and there will be prizes at the end of the summer for people who do participate. For children, we ask kids to read 20 minutes a day. Of course you can read more, but you post your minutes online in a secure Facebook group. Of course your parents will sign you up for that. But then teens and adults also have an opportunity to win prizes in an end of summer reading raffle. And they have a chance to interact in Facebook this summer with the library. So our library staff is going to staff those private groups, and it's kind of exciting. It's a new opportunity for us. So everything looks a little different, but we are still the community center. We're still the hub of this lovely community in Addison Township, and we really look forward to seeing your faces. Right now we're doing curbside, which looks a little different. You have to call ahead and schedule an appointment, but we will bring your books out to your car. And then next week we start building access, so call ahead, make an appointment, and you'll get to come in and choose your books, of course. And we will continue curbside as well if people are interested in that service. So things are evolving and we are adapting, and we're excited about it. And the innovation and using technology to help keep our message fresh and in the public eye as well. Our genealogy group started meeting on Zoom 2 months ago. So right now you can hop into that genealogy group, and it is just wonderful. We have access to Ancestry Library Edition, and you can get it off-site now. So there are a lot of, and that group really shows you how to research your family history. There's a lot of other groups that are going online as well. As I mentioned, the summer reading program. And our library board has gone on Zoom for the last 3 months. This is our 3rd Zoom meeting. So this has allowed us to use our technology even more and maybe reach out to people that couldn't come to the library as well. And of course there's Download Destination, which is our Overdrive electronic book catalog. And you can download all those books and ebooks, audiobooks, and movies for free. So that's available. There's a database called Tumblebooks that also has audiobooks and ebooks for free. And we hopefully by the end of August we will be able to check out iPads and Kindles for the community. So they'll be able to check those out for a week and with a hotspot. So if you're having trouble accessing the internet, you'll be able to come to the library and check those things out just like books. So we got a grant from the Library of Michigan for that. So it's about $1,700 and we hope to have people hooked up with that real soon. Oh yes, well, you know, we're Michiganders. We're used to getting the roads fixed here, and we're really excited to have new and improved roads. But what we're even more excited about is to give the community the first ever built library in Addison Township. This little library has been in existence since 1978. We celebrated our 40th anniversary 2 years ago, had a huge celebration here, and in the process, we have been developing plans, architectural plans, engineering plans for a new library to be built across the street from our current location, in that beautiful location across the street, on donated property for the community. So I know that because of COVID-19 and because of fundraising factors, it may slow us down a little bit, but we anticipate starting the building in 2021. There's always something new here at the library, always. I want to remind people that we are all wearing masks in the library, and for you to use the library you also need to wear a mask. But we don't anticipate that as a problem. If you don't want to wear a mask, we will certainly come out to you and bring you your books. So no mask, no problem. We just want to see your faces here at the library, even if it's online. But I'm really excited to keep the message out there about libraries, because libraries are really important, especially during times of lockdown. Thank you so much.
And there you have it, an update on the Addison Township Public Library. They are continuing to innovate, and they're going to take that innovation even out of COVID, and they are spreading the message that these libraries, whether it's this one or any of the other ones that we have in this great area, these libraries are community hubs, and they are especially showing that right now in these times of lockdown. They're able to reach far beyond their doors, and they are excited to open their doors back up soon.
Good job, River. Alexis does our last story this week, the story about the Oxford Garden Club. It's Alexis again.
Well, we haven't met since March, so we have vice presidents that plan out the calendar for the year, and we have had lots of things that we had to cross off. One of our favorite events is a nursery crawl that we do in May, where they organize two or three nurseries, not garden centers, not in our area, maybe Almont or, you know, Grand Blanc, out a ways, and we go to the different centers. Sometimes they give us a discount, and then we get together for lunch. So we missed that this year, and so, you know, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And we're having to stagger our workers in the garden. We can't have too many at one time.
Although the club hasn't met as a group recently, they have been maintaining the garden.
2 garden club members that are our garden managers. So, and we schedule monthly a day to come and work in the garden. So, and then if there's something that needs to be done in between, we send an email out and say, we need help.
She says putting out new flowers is why they keep going.
Which, like this little alyssum around here, by the end of the year, that will fill in all the space by the rocks here. That's an annual, so that has to be replaced every year. But for the most part, our plants are perennials. The annuals help add some color where we have spaces to fill.
We removed a large shrub, kind of a evergreen that was not looking too well, and so the village removed that for us, and we bought this hibiscus tree. Hydrangea tree. So we're really looking forward to the white flowers that will be coming out this summer, and that's a new addition, and that's why it's a little bare right there. But we're going to be filling it in with lots of plants. One of our members just wrote for a grant for the Southeast Michigan Butterfly Association, and so we are receiving funds to purchase plants that will entice butterflies to come to our garden. So we're real excited about that.
They're also excited about some other features around the garden.
The pink flowers that you see on the end are called dianthus. Those were donated by one of our members, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they came from her grandmother's house. The black iris were donated by a member. Then in back of that there's Russian sage. There's still the remnants of some tulips and daffodils here. There's bee balm. The peonies are getting ready to pop probably in the next 10 days or so. This little plant here is a geranium. Then we have the hostas that stay the same all year. And then these, part of the circle here is Stella d'Oro daylilies. These lilies here in the front are Asiatic lilies. We have some gaillardia planted.
Other things they aren't too thrilled about. They say they've missed out on a few events to get more plants.
The garden crawl, because that's where we purchase a lot of plants for our gardens. So we've already done that. You know, you can't do that in July. It's usually a little too late. But we have some other activities planned, and hopefully we will be able to, you know, do those.
As for funding, the Garden Club says it hasn't been affected too badly.
Our funding comes through our dues that we pay annually from all the members, and then we have an auction in November where we the members donate. Some members donate things, and we have a little auction. So and we also participate with Wojo's. They have 2 customer appreciation days, so we try to purchase our plants on those 2 days, and we get some of the proceeds back to us.
The club wants residents to know
We are always open for new members, and if you don't remember our names, you can always call the Oxford Senior Center. They know our schedule and they know who to get in contact with. So, but we would love to have more new members, so if anyone who's interested in gardening, please call and please come and join us.
You can be a beginner, you can be a master gardener, you can be a, an expert, or just somebody who really knows a lot about flowers. We try to have speakers that come every 2 or 3 speakers a year that are informative, so we learn something new, and I learn things every day from other gardeners who are working in the garden. This is a great place when you're working in the garden to learn new things.
And all you have to do is
apply, pay your dues, and the only requirement is we ask that members spend one time a year contributing to the garden. And if they're not able to physically work in the garden, they can supply some supplies, or they can bring treats on the day that we're working in the garden in a regular year without COVID. We've got a nice group of people, and we really enjoy flowers and gardening, vegetable gardening too. So we invite anybody that happens to watch this, if they're interested. We do meet usually in the mornings on Monday or Tuesday. So unfortunately that rules out any person that's got a regular job on those days. So, which is too bad, but that's what we do.
There you go. That's all the time for this week. We hope you enjoyed our program. So for our reporters, Alexis War and River Tuck, and our photographers, Stephen Brower, and our production manager and editor, Terry Stiles, I'm Bill Service. We hope to see you again on our Community Access.
Did you know breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people every year in the U.S.?
That's 113 people every day.
That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Nearly 250,000 men and women in the U.S.
will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year.
That's unacceptable. Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
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 Help us save lives.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Support Susan G. Komen. Join our fight. Save lives. Visit komen.org/unacceptable.
Failure is unacceptable.